Now, we're back to the Runnin' Rams Basketball Hour with Coach Jim Barron, presented by Rhode Joe's Saloon, legendary food and drink, and 920 WHJJ.
Welcome back once again to the Runnin' Rams Basketball Hour here at Rhode Joe's Saloon, legendary food and drink, great deals every night. Find out what's happening at Rhode Joe's Saloon by following them on Facebook at facebook.com/Rhode Joe's Saloon, all one word, Rhode Joe's Saloon. Welcome back once again. The Runnin' Rams Basketball Hour. Got a great crowd on hand, and I think part of it's their energy and excitement about URI basketball, and part of it's the 10-cent wings. You know, you gotta give them a lot of reasons to come out, Coach. And I see Mike LaPrey and Daryl Jasper over talking with Don Coyne from ABC6, and nice to have Don by, a big part of the URI community, and we appreciate him making the effort to swing on by as well. Time to get our conversation in with the coach, presented by Supercuts. Supercuts. Every time. Coach, coming off a Temple loss, a big weekend for Rhode Island, looking at two home games, Dayton and Charlotte, and an opportunity for you to really solidify yourself for that stretch run in this Atlantic 10. Big one coming up against Dayton.
Well, you know, it was a tough week for us with, we had a great win against Fordham. We had a terrific second half. Our guys really stepped up, really did a great job of putting pressure on them. We turned them over 15 times. And then we had 15 assists ourselves. And then the Temple game, I mean, I really thought we were really on target. You know, the first half we were down by 6, and I talked to the guys. We showed the tape today and just showed them how close we are, you know, with making a couple of free throws, a couple of more rebounds. We missed a couple of easy bunny layups that really would have put us, you know, right there within 2 points. But, they came out, and Scooty Randall, boy, he really just lit us up. I mean, he hit some big-time shots, and he went 6 for 9 for threes, ended up with 27 points. And I tell you what, you know, we saw him prior to that game, and we just thought he was okay. And I talked to Bruiser Flint over the weekend, and he was at the tournament, the high school tournament, and, you know, he said, boy, that kid hadn't really stepped up too much at all during the year, and he made some big shots. You know, he made some big shots, and again, they're a tough Temple team because they got guards, they got frontline guys. Lavoy Allen is a legitimate pro prospect. Michael Eric, very physical, very aggressive. We got the ball inside, and we got some great looks inside. But I told our guys, and I told Will specifically, I said, you know, you're going to have to make some plays to create some contact so we can get to the free throw line. We really didn't get to the free throw line much at all, and they got to the free throw line because they were being very aggressive. They took 27 free throws to our 17, and again, you got to play two good halves to play against Temple. You know, and they're going to have guys that are going to step up, whether it's Lavoy Allen, you know, whether it's Scooter Randall or Michael Eric, even Juan Fernandez. I mean, he's been down. And, we really held him. He was 0 for 6 and 0 for 3. How many times is that going to happen the last 2 years against Juan Fernandez?
It's funny. You look at that Temple team, and the thing about them is that they've got 7 guys really in that rotation, all solid players. People will talk about Lavoy Allen and talk about Juan Fernandez coming in, but in this year, both of them having a little subpar years compared to expectations. Still very good players. But it's been some of the other guys that have stepped up and really made that team what it is, as successful as it is this year. Ramon Moore's having a great year, and Scooty Randall showed us what he can do, and he's been putting up great numbers as of late after a slow start. But and then Wyatt has been tremendous the last 5 or 6 games. And they're just becoming a tough team, even outside of the 2 guys that get most of the notoriety.
Well, they're very efficient and very effective. They got a good inside-outside play. And when they're hitting shots like they did against us, 10 for 19 from threes, you know, we're thinking that they're going to drive the ball and attack the bucket.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they make some big shots. Lavoy Allen, I mean, he only had 13 points, but Randall ended up having a big game going 27. Wyatt, who came in off the bench, he played terrific. At only 14 minutes, had 14 points. And then Ramon Moore is a guy, probably one of their top scorers.
He's number one.
And again, he only had 13 points. So you're right. At any given time, I think after playing everybody, I think they're the top team in the league.
I agree.
Because their talent is 1 through 7. I think Xavier's very good. They get good inside Holloway is probably as good a point guard in the league, but I think that Temple has the most potential just because, again, their bench is solid and their front line can score, and then their guards, their big guards, are very, very good.
Yeah, I would say at this point, Holloway is probably the player of the year in the league right to this point as the point guard for Xavier, putting up huge numbers, and he's been player of the week, I think, 5, 6 times. So I think he's odds on for that. But Temple, as a team, 1 through 7, they're really tough to beat. You got Dayton coming up on Wednesday, and I know it's pink out, and we're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. But Dayton, tough customer. They're certainly, you'd rather play them on the road than at home, no question. But they lost it
on the road than home.
No, at home, being in your place.
Yeah,
right, exactly. You don't want to play.
We did pretty good on the road against them.
Well, yeah, but you don't want to press your luck down there.
No, you're right about that.
They lost to Duquesne and Richmond a couple of weeks ago, but then beat Bonnie's and LaSalle coming into this game. So they seem to be playing some of their better basketball right now.
Well, they're a really good basketball team. They got 17 wins. They're 5-4 in the conference, and Chris Wright is one of the best wing players in the league. I mean, if not maybe the best player. He's averaging 14 points a game. He's really rebounding. I mean, that matchup between him and Delroy is going to be phenomenal. I mean,
second leading rebounder in the league.
Yeah, behind Delroy. I mean, he's terrific. Chris Johnson, Paul Williams. I mean, they can really shoot the basketball. Very athletic. Mm-hmm. They got good inside play. They graduated some guys last year, but they're really deep. They got 10, 11 guys that they go with, very athletic. The kid Statton is really good point guard. He's got 147 assists, and he could really attack the basket. I mean, that's going to be a great matchup between him and Marquise Jones, and then Delroy, and Chris Wright. I mean, you can't ask for a better 1-2 punch, but you get into the league schedule, and now you're playing some good basketball teams. This is the same Dayton team that we had a chance to play. If we'd have got to the championship game, if the whistle would have blown one way or the other, and I'm not big on tugging at the officials. But for them to run out of that gym, I'm still waiting for the call. Against them, against North Carolina, and I would have loved to play Dayton again in Madison Square Garden for the championship of the NIT. It would have been special, but Dayton is a very good basketball team, and we're going to really have to bring our A game. And it's a great night because it's the pink out.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
and the pink out here, Rhode Island. I'll tell you what, is one of the most genuine, great experiences. The student body does a great job. We got the pink shirts. I saw pink shirts coming in, so hopefully
they're selling them here tonight.
People get their pink shirts, and it all goes for the Breast Cancer Foundation, and it's a great cause, and I'm glad we could be a part of it, and our guys are really fired up, and the student body, it should be a special evening here at the University of Rhode Island for the pink out against the University of Dayton at the Ryan Center.
Yeah, Wednesday night, so wear pink, but also purchase a pink T-shirt on the way in if you haven't gotten an opportunity to do it. We have them here at Rhode Joe's Saloon. It's a minimal price. I think it's $5 a T-shirt. I believe it is $6, what have you, and all that money goes to absolutely fantastic cause. You mentioned Juwan Statton. He is right now number 1 in assists in the Atlantic 10 with 6.5 per game, and number 2 in assist turnover ratio. So he's a pretty tough customer. And we sometimes chuckle when we talk about the keys to games as we lead up to the different contests when we talk beforehand, because it really always seems to come down to rebounding.
Right.
And Dayton's number 1 in rebounding margin in the Atlantic 10 at plus 5.5. Your team coach has struggled in that rebounding aspect at number 11 right now in that category. Other categories are strong, but that's one that's going to be a little bit lopsided, favoring Dayton going into that game as far as the numbers go.
Well, we had practice, and what we talked about is we really have to rebound the basketball. Really position our bodies with staying in front of them. And we've made a really conscious effort today, and we're going to make a conscious effort tomorrow to really try to position ourselves in front of Dayton because they are such a good team going to the glass. They're very athletic. They got good size, good athletic ability, and again, they're a very good basketball team. And rebounding, like you said, they are rebounding their opponents by 4.5 rebounds. Mm-hmm. That's really unheard of. So we got our battles. Our battle's going to be, really rebounding, and it's going to be the whole team. The guards got to rebound. The frontline guys got to rebound. And again, we got to try to limit them to one shot.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break. When we come back, still got plenty to talk about. I want to get your thoughts on a couple of transfers who are coming to the University of Rhode Island. One you know very well, one you know pretty well, and the other you know well than most.
Yeah.
And Weller, I don't think that's a word. And
it's a word in Brooklyn.
It'll fly in Brooklyn.
Somebody in Brooklyn's using that word tonight. Weller.
And also want to get your thoughts on what you saw this weekend with the New England Prep Tournament on the URI campus, which is a great way to highlight some of the positives at URI. And then also we're going to bring on Greg Burke, the Deputy Athletic Director, talk a little more about the Pink Out and also talk about the Women's Regional, which is coming up a year from now.
Great tournament.
Plenty of stuff going on here at Rhode Joe's Saloon, the Runnin Rams basketball hour at Rhode Joe's Saloon, legendary food and drink. Great deals every night. Find out what's going on by following them on Facebook at facebook.com/Rhode Joe's Saloon. Back in just a bit, more of the Runnin Rams basketball hour on the Belltone Hearing Aid Center's Rams